Come in. Come in. Come in. I am sending you all of the positive, extra lovey-dovey vibes today. Hello, my fam. Perez Hilton here, the queen of all media, the gossip gangsta, the original influencer. And yes, I am wearing a sparkly headband because I wanted to. And it makes me happy in this moment. I even lit a candle. Look at this. The candle is lit. We are in the zone. All right, everybody. We do this every single weekday. Hot topics and me live and interactive with all of my members. If you can, oh, dang it. Fudgesicles. If you can, please consider becoming a member of my channel. I just realized there was a mistake yesterday. Anyways, if you can, please consider becoming a member of my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Your support means so much. Plus, you get to chat live with me during every single one of my premieres. Every live stream is member only, but as soon as it's over, everybody can comment. You got that? So you don't have to be a member to watch. You don't have to be a member to comment once the video premiere is over. Hey, Ryan. All right. We are in member only mode. Let's get right to it. I love that there is an update to a story that we talked about yesterday. I think it might have been yesterday. I told you about, yesterday. Yesterday, I told you about Katy Perry going to Mexico, or maybe the day before, to promote her tour, and how she's doing things in a different model than big superstars. Katy's going country to country 8 months, 6 months in advance to promote her tour next year. Hey, Patty. She went to Australia. She went to Mexico for the Lifetimes tour, not the Eras tour. And now we're hearing that next month in December, Katy is going to go, as I predicted, to the UK. Hey, Piali. Katy's going to the UK. And since the UK is an even bigger market, well, is it? How many people live in the UK? I'm just curious. How many people? I would think Mexico's a bigger market, but the UK is probably a wealthier market. How many people live in the UK? 68 million. I think that's a lot more than Australia. How many people live in Australia? 26 million. Oh my God. That's like almost triple, right? How many people live in Mexico? I would imagine that more people live in Mexico than in the UK. Holy moly. Oh my God. This is bonkers. 128 million people live in Mexico. That's double the UK. The UK is 68 million. I mean, almost double. Close to double. The UK has 68 million people. But I bet you anything, Katy will do more concerts in the UK than in Mexico. Oh, wow. The UK had quite the population boom. An increase of 6.8% last year from 2011. Oh my God, I didn't even know this. Mexico is the 10th most populated in the world. Wait, and now I'm just curious, how many are in the US? Like 400 million live in the US. Close, 334 million. The US has 334 million people. Anyways, Katy, as I mentioned, is heading to the UK next month. We knew she would be doing press, but she's doing something that she's not done in Australia or in Mexico. She's doing a TV special to air on British television for 90 minutes, a 90-minute TV special where she's performing her greatest hits. Talk about promotion. Like, that's the best promotion, especially because people in the UK I think a lot of them still watch broadcast, right? Because I think it's free. It's going to air on ITV. Is anybody watching from the UK? Is ITV free, a free channel? Like, I don't even know if that exists anymore in the US. Like, in order to watch, I don't know, because I have direct TV. But if you guys, I don't know how that works. If you guys buy a new TV in the United States, I don't think you can get ABC, NBC, or CBS or Fox without cable, right? Or maybe like YouTube Live. YouTube Live lets you watch those networks, the traditional basic broadcast networks. Anyways, I thought that was very smart and strategic of Katy Perry. Excited to see what she comes up with for this special, which will probably maybe get aired in the US, even if she does it for the UK. Filming it in the UK. Very cool. I love that we learn lots of new things here every day, y'all. It's an informative time together. Speaking of musicians, last night over in Saudi Arabia, Jennifer Lopez performed her first concert, I guess, performance since splitting with Ben Affleck. And she looked amazing, sounded amazing. And at the same fashion show was Celine Dion. Celine also performed at this fashion show in Saudi Arabia. 2 songs. She did I'm Alive and The Power of Love at the Ellie Saab show. And she sounded amazing. Celine sounded so good that haters on social media thought Celine Dion was lip syncing. But let me tell you all something, haters. I know Celine Dion. I listened intently. She was singing live. She was live. Go back and watch it, analyze both performances. You could hear her breaths. It was live. Also, Celine just doesn't lip sync. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I watched that many times. It was live. And that fashion show must have cost $10 million to put on. They had J-Lo, they had Celine, they even had Halle Berry come out and wear the iconic Ellie Saab gown that she had on when she won the Oscar back in the early 2000s. And she still fit into that and looked amazing. Holy moly. Halle freaking Berry, I think, what is she? She's like 60 years old. Let me see, or close to that. 58. Halle Berry's 58. God, I want to look that good at 50. I want to look that good now. She looked sensational. But you know what? I think that fashion show might have actually been underwritten by the Saudi government. They got all that oil money and however else they make money. And the government isn't the government of Saudi Arabia run by like the royals there, the Sultan, Sheikh, whatever. Let me see, Saudi Arabia. King, I was right. There's a king of Saudi Arabia. La 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 la, I'm alive. King Salman of Saudi Arabia. Oh, he's old. He's 88 years old. What's the main religion of Saudi Arabia? Is it Muslim? It's a Muslim country, but is it overwhelmingly Muslim? Let me see here. I'm just curious. Over 93%, yes. Wow, interesting. Interesting. Okay, all right. In other news, God, how depressing. Politics is inescapable, whether we like it or not. Did you hear the latest? Two very interesting stories. First, Donald Trump has named RFK Jr. as health secretary. Hopefully the worm didn't eat too much of his brain. Jesus Christ. Hey, Joe, how are ya? RFK Jr.'s got some pretty outlandish theories, thoughts. It's scary. It's scary. I'm like literally, especially because, up until now, we've had systems in place for checks and balances, but it seems like Donald Trump wants to dismantle all of the operating systems and no checks and balances. And what qualification does RFK Jr. have to be health secretary? He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He's not a doctor. He's not a scientist. He didn't go to medical school. He didn't study biology. He didn't study, there's nothing at all that makes him remotely qualified. Please, 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 I'm being sincere here. If you are a Trump supporter, not all Trump supporters have to agree with everything that Donald Trump does, but I specifically want to hear from Trump supporters. In your eyes, what makes RFK Jr. qualified to head the Department of Health and Human Services? Is that what it's called? HHS, Health and Human, what is it? Health and Human Services, I was right. What makes Robert F. Kennedy Jr. qualified to lead the Department of Health and Human Services? Don't you want qualified people in these roles? What makes him qualified for that role? Please comment. Please share this link with your fellow Trump friends. And I'm being very serious. I want to, in all sincerity, try to understand. So help me, okay? Also, speaking of wacky news, you cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. Elon Musk has officially begun First Lady duties. Multiple reports confirm that Elon Musk met with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations on behalf of our country. Hey, off the record, hey, Christy Rocha, Elon Musk is now meeting with foreign dignitaries on our behalf. Elon Musk is neither an elected official or functioning in any official capacity when he does this. Donald Trump did appoint him to some BS office that he created, the Department of Government Efficiency or some caca like that. And his role there is supposed to cut government spending. What does cutting government spending have to do with meeting the ambassador to the UN of Iran? Why is Elon meeting the ambassador to Iran? Explain this to me, Trump supporters. Why? Just because you are smart, capable, and qualified in one area does not mean you have the information or the abilities or experience to be qualified in all these other areas. Elon knows a lot about rockets and a lot about cars, but does he know a lot about FGKPQRS? I don't know. I don't think so. He would like to think he literally knows, like, Elon and Donald Trump have so much in common. That's why they get along. They both have ginormous egos, and they both legitimately think they know the solutions to everything. They know how to fix everything. I'm really scared, unless all of the media is in cahoots, and all of these economists and experts, but every single economist that I've heard over the last week and a half, hey Adam, every single one is really nervous about all of Donald Trump's plans. They all collectively believe that if Donald Trump executes everything he promised he would, it would increase inflation. Adding tariffs will increase inflation. Deporting millions of undocumented migrants would increase inflation. What else was it? Just those two alone. Oh, also not just lowering the workforce in the United States, which would then drive up labor costs. So if there are millions of people currently working in the United States, those positions are going to need to be filled. But now there's less people to work those positions, so the cost of labor is going to increase. Not to mention, also increasing inflation will be the money necessary to deport all of those people. It's going to cost billions of dollars to deport millions of undocumented migrants annually. And there's a lot of them. So I'm nervous, but you know what? I'm not letting it consume me. And I am, I know that eventually Elon and Donald Trump are going to have their falling out. It'll happen. So, wrapping up our real world segment, and then we'll move on to lighter, stupider stuff. In case you missed it, Alex Jones, the conspiracy theory right-wing nut who created InfoWars, that was sold at auction to The Onion. It will be, Adam, the satirical news organization, The Onion. They got the blessing of the Sandy Hook families who won that lawsuit against Alex Jones, who was spreading lies about the family. But Alex Jones alleges that The Onion bought it unlawfully, that the auctioneers, the auction process was not transparent. They changed the rules at the last minute. There was another company that made an offer and that it was not legit. The other people that made an offer clearly are friends or colleagues, supporters of Alex Jones, who wanted him to still be involved in some capacity. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I agree. And it's sad, Sherry, to see so many people defending Alex Jones. Like, you all think what he did to those families was okay? I am all for free speech. I'm all for free speech. But I do believe in consequences. For example, I had it out with my podcast co-host about Alex Jones. My co-host, who many people think is the sensible one, he thinks Alex Jones should be in prison for what he did. I don't. I don't think defamation is a crime worth putting somebody in prison for. Okay? It's not a violent crime. It's not... I mean, I get it. People are put in prison for not paying their taxes, but still, I don't think And actually, should we be putting people in prison for not paying their taxes? Like, just put them to work and collect 80% of their, or I don't know, like put them to work and collect all their money while they're working. I don't know. I do believe in there needs to be a lot of prison reform. I do believe in prison reform. I think only like violent, awful people should be the ones in prison. Personally, I don't know. Violent, awful people, or people that are like, selling substances, you know what I mean? But like, people didn't pay their taxes, like exactly, Christy, make them pay it back with interest. Exactly. And some of them will just have to work for the rest of their lives and never, take a vacation or whatever. Monitor them very well. Anyways, we'll see. Alex Jones is alleging shadiness on behalf of the auctioneers. So we'll see if the Onion continues to have ownership or not. All right, on to some reality TV news. I told you. I told you. I think it was last week or maybe even the week before anybody else was talking about it, I said, I'm hearing Teddy Mellencamp from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and her horse instructor, her riding instructor. Did I not tell you guys that? I said that. I didn't go into detail because I didn't have many details. It was just something that I was hearing. Now there are multiple reports about Teddy Mellencamp and her riding instructor. If you want it, I got it. Ride it, my pony. I think if you're going to sign a prenup, there should be a cheating clause. Prenups need to have a cheating clause. And the audacity of this woman to file for full legal and physical custody of her children when allegedly she's the one that cheated. There's also rumors about her husband, but that's not for public consumption. I talked about that on my Patreon show last week. I learned, you should not share everything publicly. My Patreon is a safe space for secret sharing. Patreon.com/Perez Hilton. If you're interested, go check us out there. Patreon.com/Perez Hilton. We dropped a new show today. I think it's really good. Also, speaking of housewives, holy moly, this may be the final season of Real Housewives of New York. I saw this report about ratings for Roni and tanked. This year, ratings are abysmal. Ratings are less than 300,000 viewers per episode when the OG cast used to get like 2 million per episode. Do any of you watch the reboot of Real Housewives of New York? I mean, they have the Beverly Hills still works, and that's because so many of the women have been on there for a very long time, I would love to do a show like that. I've got to manifest it. You watch Off the Record? Well, you're in the minority. You're part of the few. You're all over. I'm all over them too, Sherry. It's been on for too long. Reality show, like the Kardashians, reality shows have a shelf life. It's been going on for too long. What are your thoughts, Sherry? Oh, Jesus. That went down the wrong way. I'm alive for the power of love. One day I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Oh my God, there's this new Pamela Anderson movie that was filmed in Las Vegas called The Last Showgirl, and it's getting a lot of buzz. Wouldn't that be cool if Pamela Anderson got an Oscar nomination? I haven't seen it. And honestly, I saw the trailer and it was a little bit overhyped. And I agree, Adam, but even the Kardashians are played out. Like, I'm bored of their reality show. They become boring. What's the drama with the Kardashians these days? There's no drama, right? Like, what's the point of watching them if there's no drama? Where's the flavor? Speaking of drama, Zendaya is setting the record straight. In a new interview with Vanity Fair, she went on the record claiming that the holdup for season 3 of Euphoria was not due to her. She hasn't made a movie since 2022. Even though 2 of her films came out this year, Dune 2 and Challengers, she let everybody know that they were filmed in 2022. She could have done Euphoria season 3, but I think with that cast member dying, it's like Corey Monteith. This will most likely be the 3rd and final season of Euphoria. I just did this interview. I think I told you guys, I did an interview for a book. Somebody's working on a Glee book and they interviewed me. I said in my interview, after Corey Monteith died, Glee just wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same. God, I just realized that later tonight I have an interview with News Nation and it's stressing me out already. I don't get nervous. It's just like, oh God, more work later. I can't just exhale. If you're bored, I will be on in the 10 p.m. Eastern hour, some point in the 10 p.m. Eastern hour on News Nation. I'm alive. If you call me, I get wings to fly. I feel that I'm alive. Thank you, Off the Record. What else, you guys? That's all I've got for today, but if you have any questions, I'll take your questions. If not, please become a member and support that way if you can. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at our normal time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Let's end the week with a bang. But if you have any questions now, I'll take a couple questions. Good night, Off the Record. I get wings to fly. I feel. No questions? All right, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. I love you. I appreciate you. Mwah. Bye, everyone.